Hello, everyone. It's 11:32 p.m. For the past few days, the nausea and vertigo have been subtly, like quite subtle, with trying to sneak up and try to come back. The nausea and vertigo. So I just took some of the healing gravy. I hope it didn't lose its effectiveness though, but I'm still feeling a little bit weird right now. So there was some things I didn't get to say in the video that I did earlier. But I'm gonna try to mention it now. So me being upset about the threats that I saw um in the middle of the night. Excuse me. I didn't get to go to bed. I went to bed at 3:45 this morning. And then I didn't get to fall asleep until well after daylight. And all night last night, and all throughout the middle of the night, and all day, they were blasting loud music to the point it's ridiculous. So I never heard of a rural area. I mean, an area where they don't really have that many black people. And if this is considered like a sketchy, dangerous neighborhood or a sketchy, dangerous area. And people said that if there's a lot of people blasting loud music, unless you're downtown in a certain big city, if you're in an area, in a neighborhood where people frequently blast loud music, that's one dead giveaway that you're not in a good neighborhood, that you're not in a good area. But this is the first non-black area that I knew of in my life that's considered a sketchy or dangerous neighborhood. Or a neighborhood that's unsafe. So, like my race of people, are the main ones notorious for having a bad reputation of the hood or sketchy or unsafe areas with a lot of crime. But I haven't really heard of crime happening here in Bloomington, but I hear about crime and I see some ghetto hood areas in Victoria. Right where they had the where I went to go get my taxes done. I think that's where their Section 8 or housing office is. Excuse me. And so like right across the street they have like some ghetto areas, bad neighborhoods. So so I had to, and that's one thing I hate about living here. If this is supposed to be considered a rural area, or they have a guy in a small little pickup truck that picks up the trash from the small little barrels. So this is like a different little community area from regular, normal, it's treated like the country with just a small Dollar General and Family Dollar, and then it takes you about 20 minutes to drive to get into the main city. And then that's even kind of small. It's not even, they have small little shuttle transportation rather than those big transit buses. So I guess Pensacola must be bigger than, I don't know, but I guess Pensacola must be bigger than Victoria. So this morning I went to bed at 3:45 and then couldn't sleep until sometime after daylight. And then I woke up at about 2:50, just before 2. I lingered in bed for a while. I probably woke up before 2 o'clock, and the gang stalking, noise harassment, noise campaigns, and the loud music woke me up. And even last night, I felt some vertigo and nausea, mild vertigo and nausea and dizziness. And then, so after that, so then, I had a big bowl of cereal. Then I, did a video addressing the threats and harassment and gang stalking. And, uploading videos, and I don't remember what else I did. But then, about 5 o'clock, I felt hungry again, because it was a little after 2:30 that I started eating the cereal, and then about 5 o'clock, I was hungry again. And so, I think it was about 5:30 when I ate the pizza and the fries and the last little Magnum bar, and also did the video. And after that, I was uploading a backup of one of the other videos, and and so that one just got finished uploading, and I had to, upload the noise harassment, and the people who claim to be targeted, they get mad and yell at me and saying ignore, the noise harassment, but I have a hypersensitive ear condition. And then I also have Tourette's and a few others. It helps me to feel better. It helps. It's a stress reliever for me to call out the perps, or rather than just. Because y'all making me feel like y'all forcing me to be quiet, like as if I deserve this punishment, or like I don't have a right to fight back, or I'm not allowed to fight back. So it's like it was a couple of hours after dinner that it was maybe at least 8 o'clock that the nausea and vertigo try to sneak back up on me. And then I worked a little bit more on the mental health ebook. So like right now, like after the other videos got finished uploading, excuse me. So only one person unfollowed me on TikTok throughout the whole day. But as I said, there must be a smear campaign going on about me in the TI community, or they just alerting new people about me. But they had somebody on Twitter that tried to ask me about direct energy weapons, if I received the direct energy weapons, and I told the person about my direct energy weapons. And then they asked me about the direct energy weapons, and then we talked for a little bit, and then when I showed them the link about that small pickup truck on UWF campus following me, I showed him that video. And then I don't know if he really ghosted me or if he might reply back tomorrow or anything like that. But, I don't know if he ghosted me or if he might reply back tomorrow. But I'll see. But they have had other people who, if I show them, if they claim that they get V2K, and I say I don't get V2K, and when I show them a video of proof of my gang stalking, then they unfollow or block me when I show them proof that I'm being targeted. But everybody likes to ignore that video. But other professed targeted individuals, if it be the popular fakes who have that shit staged, the popular fakes who have that stuff staged, they will say that oh, that's the best gang stalking footage ever on YouTube or something like that. And I'm like, oh, you're only saying that because they're one of the popular fakes who set it all up, and they're getting paid to pretend to look like they're targeted. Because, somebody's one of the popular fakes when they try to make it like as if they get a police officer to admit gang stalking is real. But it be all fake, a popular fake TI perps that have the whole videos, a whole skit video scripted. So, but everybody dismisses and ignores me when I show that video of the perp with one headlight riding less than 10 feet away from behind me. But if I expose that, if I would have said, well, this is happening on UWF campus, University of West Florida. Guess what? If I would have said, if I would have showed any clues that I was on UWF campus, the online gang stalkers would have had called up somewhere on a university and had me wrongfully banned forever. So it seemed like whenever I expose a place of business, a restaurant, hotel, or whatever, participating in a gang stalking, they get the police involved and have me to be like an official no trespassing ban. And the police will say a year, but then they want to say forever, for the rest of my life. So it's like at least 4 or 5 places downtown Pensacola that I'm wrongfully banned for forever, for life, and can't go back for as long as I live. And the same thing with Sky Zone. I exposed the workplace mobbing and gang stalking. The online gang stalkers, showed them my videos and probably added in some lies. And then, and so with the Sky Zone video, I was treated like a terrorist. I was treated like a terrorist and I didn't even mention Sky Zone. But Star Bricker, she bragged, laughed, and admitted about calling up Sky Zone. And then she turned around and denied it and lied and said that that never was her that called. At first, I thought it was my twin sister that did that. Or I thought it was the other fake TI perps or some, I don't know who it could have been. But then Starbricker bragged and admitted, as I said, how is criminals like Stefan Adams and Starbricker or any of the other perps, how are they going to condemn somebody or try to make it like somebody's doing something wrong? Excuse me. So anyway, but like in my mental health ebook that I'm working on, I definitely need more rest, or to be caught up on rest in order to write the book out better. But right now I'm feeling like a nauseating headache, like nausea, headache, and the vertigo. And so I took the healing gravy. Normally normally the symptoms would have gone away by now. The symptoms would have gone away by now, but I'm still feeling weird. And so right before I came on here, I took some of the healing gravy. It seemed like all I needed was a little bit. But if I'm still feeling kind of weird, I might try to take some more of the healing gravy. And on the past few days, it seemed like I haven't been drinking enough water. I've been trying to push myself to drink enough water. Trying to, push myself to drink more water. But the gas symptoms and the vertigo symptoms went away earlier this month when I was eating healthier and had the fruits and vegetables and the clean meats and stuff. But now that I'm back to having to live off of Dollar General and Family Dollar, eating processed foods and stuff, the symptoms have come back. But I know it's the directed energy weapons mainly, because I was homeless living on the streets and having these freaking symptoms. I mean, I'm sorry. I meant to say I was homeless on the streets and eating restaurant food or bar food and was not having these symptoms. I meant to say, except on a few occasions I may have had the vertigo and all that. But it might last a couple of days or a few days, but ever since I've been up in here, I've been feeling it. But I don't remember whether or not I felt the vertigo any time when I was in Cincinnati. If I felt any of the vertigo, I don't remember whether or not I felt it while I was in Cincinnati. But it wasn't until mid or late May was when I would start to feel the vertigo and nausea, or I would feel backed up gas pain in my the back right side of my above my hip. So I don't feel that pain in my back right side anymore, or built up gas. But sometimes I might have some gas, or maybe constipation, but I'm really excuse me, I got some hard mucus in my throat. So I'm I'm sorry, my anxiety is even more high because of the perps, abusive narcissistic gang stalkers condemning me for saying and I'm and don't even realize I'm saying it. But it's like, now I'm even like nervous doing a video, and it's making me more nervous, and it's making me say even more. But if I weren't so nervous, or trying to think of what I need to say, and also I have Tourette's as well, and being nervous make the Tourette's symptoms worse, or being sleep deprived make the Tourette's symptoms worse. So but I have a headache. But I think me being sleep deprived the past few days is making the vertigo and nausea flare up. But as I said, the perps won't even let me rest, and they don't care what time of the evening. What time of the early morning it is. If they don't care if it's 2:30, 3 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock, and they think it's reasonable to blast really loud music all night long in the middle of the night, or have cars with loud engines or loud mufflers, and y'all think this is reasonable. Y'all think it's cool to disturb the peace at 4 o'clock in the morning, startling people on purpose, and y'all fucking sadistic for doing that. Sadistic criminals. And the police should not allow that. Or if you get mad, then everybody put you out publicly and make it like as if you're a Karen. That you're the Karen harassing them. If they have their loud music to the point where it's unbearable and you have to get the police involved, then they'll make it like as if you're harassing them and that they have their fake right to blast loud music and disturb everybody. But everybody else, they'd be too scared to speak up and say anything. So yeah, I've been seeing YouTube and TikTok videos about people who claim that they're pretend like they're being targeted by a Karen, by an abusive narcissistic Karen, that while you're sitting there thinking it's cool to blast loud music and terrorize and torment people, and you do it without a care in the world, and then you call that person a Karen. You try to make it like as if that person is a Karen that's harassing and picking on you, when you're doing that to deliberately harass and torment your neighbors and try to force them to have to leave. You do that on purpose to run that neighbor off and force them to have to leave or end up becoming homeless. People don't even get the luxury or the right to eat. What make you think you can blast your fucking loud music and have entitled to a right to do that and disturb the peace? So, they make sure that they give me like a daily dosage of several times a day, passing by my house all day, all evening, all morning, all night, blasting loud music. And it shouldn't be like that in an area like this where I can't even get fucking transportation. That's what pisses me off. So I absolutely hate it here, but I'm glad to have a roof over my head. But I shouldn't have to have, I shouldn't be forced to have my peace disturbed. And they'd be obvious gang stalkers who act like they delusionally believe that they dominate the whole state of Texas. Just like the perps who act like they delusionally believe that blasting loud music means that they dominate downtown Pensacola. A whole satanic fake thug group. And then they're sadistic enough that they don't even give a damn that blasting loud music makes my symptoms worse. It makes my vertigo and nausea symptoms worse. It makes me even dizzier, more loss of balance. It prolongs me, for me to not even be able to get sleep. But the police think there's nothing, and I hope that the police who allow this shit, I hope they give an answer to God and end up burning in hell for allowing it or encouraging this shit and not even putting it to the stop. I mean, they're not even putting it to a stop, because, like, if you got neighbors, the excuse me, like, a lot of apartment leases said that people have a right to peaceful and quiet enjoyment. Nope. I mean, people shouldn't have loud music forced upon them. People call that audio rape or audio terrorism. And it's not blasting loud music. That is not of God at all. You're pretending to be a fake thug. And you're a coward. And you're very immature. So yeah, I was kept up all night and all throughout my sleep disturbed. I couldn't even get straight sleep, even this morning. And then me keeping my earbuds in too long, I'm starting to get otitis. Outer ear infection, because of having my earbuds in so long and so much. And I need to let my ears breathe sometimes. So like, right before I came on to do this video, I broke my own personal rule of eating, like, I had some Nutter Butter wafers and a little bit of the healing gravy right before I had some Nutter Butter and the healing gravy, like, right before I came on here. But I'm not even feeling better like I usually do. And as I said, I'm hoping that healing gravy didn't lose its effectiveness. So, excuse me. But I don't know if I don't know what they're gonna do about the food stamp thing, but I didn't want to take chances on thinking I could just go to the grocery store and splurge, and then I gotta pay that right back. So I'm sitting here trying to stay on the safe side. But otherwise, I would love to even with my mini fridge and freezer, if I could go to the grocery store and buy up some, like, celery, carrots, and all that, or apples, or healthy stuff to consume so I can feel better. But I really think that's a mistake. But if it's not a mistake, then wow, that's a big blessing. If it's not a mistake, but I don't know how to contact them to let them know, or to try to ask them, or try to figure out what's going on, if that was a glitch or an error, or was that intentional, or were they intentionally giving me that? I don't know if it looked like it was a computer error. But at least I'm sitting here trying to do the right thing. And I don't want things to catch up with me, if I, but good thing I went and checked, because otherwise I would have spent up so much money, so much food stamps, not knowing. And then they say, even if it's not your fault or you didn't know, they still want to hold you responsible for paying that back. I think that's pretty messed up. Like, you want to punish me for your system error, or punish any of us for your system error. So, but I kept trying to say that on Amazon, only the Illuminati packaged foods is the food that they put SNAP EBT available. But small businesses and anything natural, or Trader Joe's, they don't have SNAP EBT eligible. But this Trader Joe's food, it costs on Amazon about 4 or 5 times as much as if you would have paid physically in the store. And I heard that some supplements you can buy on food stamps, but not all of them, which I didn't know that, But yeah, so now I'm finding myself saying more often than I usually would, like finding myself with my conscience nagged, like as if I'm doing something wrong or annoying or bothersome. But how you gonna tell me what to say or try to control my channel? You're not even subscribed to my channel, and you're yelling at me, trying to control and fix me, trying to tell me and learn how to speak correctly, and you're not even subscribed to me, and you're just looking for something, hunting for something to fuck with me about, because you already have the biased, bad opinion about me. You already have a certain opinion about me. So you sit there and yell at me, yeah, so ever since that person said that, it's been making me more nervous in my videos now. So forgive or excuse me for saying so much, when I didn't even realize I would say that. I wouldn't even realize. So, look at me. I didn't even realize I just said it. But, that's, my Tourette's, and the perps even mock me and talk about me saying, so much, when I didn't even realize. But they want to nag your conscience and make you feel bad, and make you feel hyper conscientious and hyper vigilant about every word, thought, and deed. But that's the thing. People who are not even subscribed trying to tell you how to act in a video, or trying to control how you should act. Like back in 2020, they had an abusive, narcissistic perp that tried to say, well, I tried for the life of me to sit here and watch your videos and I can't watch your videos. And then he said, learn how to sit up straight. And because he mentioned, he had an attitude about me clearing my throat and coughing and stuff like that. And yelled at me, learn how to sit up straight. And and I'm like, with that comment, I know you're a narcissistic abuser. That talk about learn how to speak correctly, I know you're a narcissistic abuser. You know, they want to force themselves to watch your videos and cringe at everything you do or say in your videos, and yet been stalking and harassing you for years. But I'll say this though, if they have people who do like food reviews, or if they're popular and they do food reviews or cooking videos and they eat their food or whatever, like sample their food or whatever, I heard that even targeted individuals say that people know who watches their channel, even the popular fakes with millions of subscribers. So they had a few people who do food reviews that in the beginning, a couple of months ago, when I would be watching their videos of food reviews and they chew quietly, and then within the past 2 weeks, two of these guys, you know, started doing videos and then smacked the fuck out of their food, like smacking their food and stuff like that. And I feel like, well, they're doing this shit on purpose. Now, like, well, nobody else cares, or it doesn't bother anybody else, or nobody else is going to complain. But I have a hypersensitive ear condition, so I'm going to have to stop watching their videos. And then one of them had been throwing up satanic hand signs, yet talk about being blessed by God. But you talk about being blessed by God, yet throwing up devil horns hand signs. So, you know, I'm really thinking of, because I don't want my day to be ruined by that, you know. So I figured that these motherfuckers just started smacking their food in their videos. So, I figured that they were doing that to target and perk me. So I figured, well, I'm going to stop watching their videos. They lost a subscriber. But I guess 1 out of 423,000, they don't really care about one person out of, you know. But I don't try to control them or comment to say, stop smacking stop smacking your food. No, I just gonna unsubscribe. And I've been meaning to talk about that for the past week or two and haven't gotten around to talking about it. But yeah, they used to chew quietly and well-mannered and respectful and chewing with their mouth closed. And now they just carelessly smack the fuck out of their food. All low-class, ghetto, and ignorant. And one time, somebody mentioned a phrase in a YouTube video, mentioned a phrase in one of my favorite Christian songs, you know, and then that person mentioned that phrase, in a YouTube video. And this person also has over 4,000 subscribers. And then that person started to do stuff like skip over my comment or get an attitude and ignore me and stuff like that, you know. So, like that Tommy Bites TV person always wearing a Leah t-shirt. And I was wondering, is she doing this to trigger me or try to provoke or perk me, or is she just a diehard fan of Aaliyah? But she, one time most of the time she wouldn't really respond to any of my comments, but if people have a whole lot of subscribers, they may comment on the first maybe 50 comments out of 300 or more or something. They might comment and respond back, if you're early enough. But one time I mentioned gang stalking, and she got hateful and straight up blocked me. And I'm like, well, if you're supposed to be like a truther or whatever, she blocked my account for talking about gang stalking. But I don't know if it could have been the case that maybe she didn't block me and maybe YouTube censored me. But from what I know, I think she did block me. But I thought she was supposed to be one of those survival prepper truthers. So between her and my experience with Alaska Prepper Rudy, that the online perps made a big fucking deal about and blew it out of proportion and tried to make me famous in a bad way, and he clearly did have an attitude with me in that live stream back in 2021, the end of 2021 or beginning of 2022. And the perps tried to blow up my blog post about what I did, and they tried as hard as they can to try to make that famous and try to make that go viral. And it's like, out of all the other stuff, and that's what y'all choose. It's like, I just called him out on, and he claimed to be a Christian. So, because I like a lot of so-called preppers, the popular fakes, would ignore me if I try to ask, well, how can a homeless person be a prepper? And so the Alaskan prepper guy, he yelled at me and said, "You can't prep." So, Star Bricker was the one who tried to blow that up and try to make it famous. And then she tried to make it like she saw the live stream and that I over-exaggerated and lied on him. And when she did get an attitude with me and yelled at me and tried to publicly humiliate me. So there was a point in time that they tried to blow that up and make that, famous for a while. So like the gang stalkers pride themselves on feeling like they control my blog, in which them stalking my blog, on the top 10 posts, none of my short stories are on the top 10 posts of my blog. But instead, me speaking the truth about whatever fake TI perp or regular perp encounter that they want to try to blow out of proportion or blow up and try to make me look really crazy or think I should be embarrassed. But none of my, me exposing the perps, they want to try to put that at the top most read post, because they try to spread it and make it go viral to try to make me look like really fucking crazy and insane. That people who I have blocked, they controlling the views on my blog. And then my blog, which is a Google-based, blog spot, is from Google. And my own blog is not searchable on Google or is censored by Google, except the video that the blog post that I did talking about Trisha. The blog post that I did about Trisha back in May of last year, that's the only one post that they allow to be in the Google section on purpose, just to falsely make me look racist. I'm like, we're both black. How am I going to be racist against, you know? So, um, but on other search engines, if you type in gang stalked Creole author on anything other than Google, the searches on even a couple of my short stories will come up. But Google, yeah, when you Google search gang stalked Creole author, I'd be lucky if I get one search result, and it's one of something that would, and that one, they don't blow that up, and it's not in my top 10 posts on my blog, but it's the only thing that shows up on the Google search engine. But if you use any other search engine, my blog will other blog posts will show up. And they've been suppressing and censoring my blog. I don't know if it was the fake Darnell Williams posing as Alex Dupree, or if that was actually Alex Dupree himself that bragged. Like when they first, like I kept my blog, my Gang Stalk Creole author blog, I kept that secret for at least a month or two. And then he bragged, whoever that was, bragged about having my blog shadow banned. Like, how would a regular gang stalker have that power to make sure you're shadow banned? You're threatened by the truth. And y'all hate the truth. That's why you hate me for spreading the truth. So they want to say Candy must be stopped at all costs. Or, Candy must be muzzled like a dog. But they're trying to rid me from existing anywhere in person or online. And the perps think that I'm the laughing stock of the town for me to be wrongfully banned from everywhere. Or they try to make like I'm such a troublemaker and a nuisance, but y'all sitting there working for the devil. So I wasn't expecting to wake up so late at 2:15, well, almost 2:15 in the afternoon. So that's why I just grabbed the quick cereal. But because I said that I won't, and I shouldn't, because Jimmy Dean's Sausage Company or whatever is GMO food that's bad for you, and so is the cereal. But that's what I got, but and I don't have syrup. I have the last of the honey. But I drizzle some honey on a pizza. It's not hot honey, but that Red Baron pizza, I thought I remember that pizza from when I was little. And we used to put it in the microwave, and I didn't like it. But flavor-wise, I didn't burn it this time like I did Saturday. So I thought, well, it don't taste bad. It tastes pretty good. It don't really taste bad. But I drizzled a little honey on it. But I heard some people, I saw people on TikTok, if they drizzle hot honey on some pizza, I don't have hot honey, but, but I think I did try hot honey on pizza before, and it was really good. I think they call it Mike's Hot Honey or something. But yeah, it's like I'm not like I didn't know the truth, or I wasn't awakened. So I used to always be a people pleaser back then, or I used to always feel like, well, Did I upset you or did I make you mad or, and every person who I did that, I didn't realize they were narcissistic abusers or, abusive narcissistic gang stalkers. But it's like, can there be a day where I can have a perfect day without having to get upset about anything? If I can go 24 hours without hearing noise campaign or noise harassment or receiving a harassing comment on social media or not having to worry about somebody unfollowing or blocking me or treating me mean or whatever. But you say you're a Christian and love the Lord with all your heart, but then you block and ignore and hate me, and I don't even know you. You don't know me, and I never did you anything. So but it's now 12:23 a.m. in the morning on Monday, June 26, 2023. It's the foster sister Joni's birthday. Did Joni just fucking turn 44 years old? That's weird. We getting old. And Stank Horlanika from the Masonic Smelly Crab family, she just fraudulently and illegally turned 40 years old. And then I think it was a couple of other it was like at least 3 Kraft family members with that same birthday, June 26th. And me and my twin sister, our birthday is August 25th. But I got 3 family members, at least 3 family members who all share the same birthday, December 11th. And then the cousin Blake's birthday was December 10th, the day before. Like, his birthday is the day before his mom. And then my cousin Whore Rebecca's birthday is August 10th. And the biological brother Wyatt's birthday is September 10th. But I got family members with a lot of November birthdays. So, from what I know, I don't think I have any family members that have the birthday of May. But I might have family members that I don't know who have a birthday in May. But the family, like all my siblings and both parents and my aunt, uncle, and cousins, none of them were born in May. But any of their kids, I don't know if they were born in May. But the uncle, my aunt's husband, he's the only one whose birthday was in July. And July 20-something, I don't remember. If it wasn't July 21st, then I don't remember. But they got a couple of August birthdays, a nice bit of September birthdays, maybe one October birthday, lots of November, a nice bit of December, a few January, and February. I don't remember if I have any family members' birthday in February, but Belinda, the one who's deceased, the sister who's deceased, her birthday was March 30th. And then they have a few April birthdays. So, 2 more months until our birthday rolls around again. But last year, it was the online perps made it like as if my twin sister had a right to celebrate, but I didn't. Like, she had a right to celebrate, but I didn't. And even the biological family members act like that too. Like, everybody's allowed to talk about birthday, but I would be like 12 years old in 7th grade, and I had an emotional meltdown and cried because they had this abusive, narcissistic ghetto bully named Sylvia who acted like she wanted to fight me and then told me that nobody cared about my birthday. And I was wondering, why is everybody saying this to me? Don't nobody care about, being low class, ignorant, and ghetto, and talking about don't nobody care about your birthday. But when other people have their birthday, they get to have like big, fat, huge birthday cake, hundreds of balloons. Like, I thought it was just New Orleans, but I don't know if it's a Southern thing or a black thing. For people to have money pinned on them for their birthday. But if I walk around with with the dollar pinned on me, they will falsely assume that I'm just lying for attention. Or everybody skip over and ignore me. But my twin sister, they'll pin like stacks of money on for her freaking, like, what makes us any different? So I don't know what it's like. Like, I have to be alone for our birthday every year, and wrongfully punished. And it seems like for the past few birthdays, I had to experience abuse on my own birthday, or treated just wrong on my own birthday. And they make sure I don't get to have a good day every year. So with me about to be 40, me staying here, I won't be able to get out and go anywhere or be able to celebrate or anything like that. For me to just sit up in here, wrongfully punished with no cake, no ice cream, no nothing. And then if I had a place to live and I get food stamps or whatever, and it's like our birthday being towards the end of the month, I've been just barely scraping a little bit of money for like a $4 pack of cupcakes and a small little pint of ice cream, and get yelled at for it. Like, you're not supposed to have that. Or I get abusive, horrible, poor customer service if you try to eat for free at Denny's or IHOP for your birthday, and they treat you all kinds of wrong and make you feel not welcome. They give you bad customer service, and don't treat you right. And they all got abusive, narcissistic personalities, and they want to ruin my birthday to the point where they have me to cry and in tears and have a meltdown. Like, it was a black lady in 2020 at that Quality Inn. I think her name was Stephanie. And they were all abusive and rude on my own birthday. And then I got heavily gang stalked and nearly hit by a car or whatever. I think I got nearly hit by a vehicle. But last year, I was treated with abuse and treated wrong. And the fake Jehovah's Witnesses cult gang, that's the second time that they gang stalked the fuck out of me on my own birthday. On my 30th birthday, they gang stalked me and try to pretend to fake recruit me. And I'm wondering why. I didn't realize it was part of the gang stalking. I heard that it'd be fake Jehovah's Witnesses that's not really part of the cult, but gang stalkers posing as Jehovah's Witnesses that come in, as a gang stalking tactic to try to, pretend like they trying to recruit you to join the fake Jehovah's Witnesses cult. So, dang, I won't be able to get no, free Denny's for my birthday or free any restaurant for my birthday. No trip or going out of town or nothing. Just And not just for birthday, but the whole fucking summer. I don't have any transportation and got to just stay locked up in here. Dang. And that's why I say I need a car. I need help with getting a car. But so yeah, I need help with getting a car. But the perps won't allow that. They want to play God. And then tell me God, fake TI perps talking about God doesn't want you driving. Or God doesn't want you with a car. Or they falsely accuse me of using God for material things. I'm like, y'all use a projection because you already sold out. And you're working for the devil. But they won't even allow me to work for a car. Work on my own for a car. So this guy that's supposed to be a targeted individual, but the car that he got was red. So he said that he got a car, and the day he got the car, it looked like they rigged it or messed it up. And I guess it must have been money thrown away. And then he had to go back to taking the bus again. Now, like, these are people who be like severely targeted. But I mean, I'm wondering how some profess targeted individuals, if they're allowed to have a car, but others aren't. Or if they're allowed to have a place to live, but the others are forced to be homeless. But they might have certain targets that's allowed to have a job and that they're not, and they don't get workplace mobbed. But they might be targeted in other things. But they have some professed targets who have a place to live. They have a place to live, but they don't seem like they get SSI or Social Security. But they stay home and say that they're being attacked with directed energy weapons. But it ain't my business. But they seem like they have money, but they don't seem to have a job. And they say they being hit with weapons. But they won't even let me. Them trying to play God. And that's like them trying to play God by trying to cheat me out my food and give me half of what everybody else gets. And then try to mention about portion sizes. And try to gaslight me. And then when I show on TikTok or something, I get yelled at and called a Karen. Or being told that I'm being petty or that I'm being greedy. And I'm like, yeah, y'all some perps that's saying that. You know what's going on. You see what's going on. Because if you had a half a bowl of corn, you would complain too. Even those food reviewers that I talked about and earlier in the video, one of them might be like, not enough fries for the $4.99 or something like that. Or they would be like, well, they didn't even give me enough meat. Or they didn't, but they got certain restaurants that be stingy. Like Pensacola restaurants have some good ass food, but a lot of the times they be stingy with their portions. I watch them do stuff like give like a level spoonful or a half a spoonful of side item. And then when they put it in the container or the small little 4-ounce container and they fill it up halfway. But in New Orleans, they usually, New Orleans, when you go out to eat, they're usually generous with their portions. But a lot of people complain. I thought it was just me, but a lot of people complain about how Pensacola, Florida people are pretty stingy with their portion sizes. Well, that's one. I'm glad to not have to eat out, even though the food be tasting so good. But I'm glad to not have to eat out because I can control my food portion. You know, if I want to, you see this water right here. You know, usually they fill it. Well, this is, pretty much filled to the top. So they'll do stuff like now I drunk enough that it's approximately halfway. They'll do stuff like fill up my orange juice halfway, like this. You see all that space up in there? And I've shown video evidence of them doing this with my food and drinks. And they try to gaslight and play games and talk about standard portion size. When the person next to me get their drinks filled to the top, and then they give me the hate, anger look, like as if I'm forbidden to look, and then try to frighten and scare and intimidate me. So, yeah, I'm sitting here wondering how that same server that served me half a cup of orange juice, and then they have their hand out for a tip, or they take it upon themselves to take a tip. If the meal is $15.77, they take it upon themselves to take the whole $20 and look at me like I'm crazy when I trying to get cash back or trying to get my money back. But that's how they think that they can give poor customer service, narcissistically abused, and then think they are entitled to deserve a tip. When you give me cold food, undercooked burgers, give me half a cup of this or a half a bowl of that. If they're abusive, narcissistic gang stalkers who think that they're sadistically punishing me with a cold waffle to eat. When I say specifically that I would like my waffle fresh and hot off the griddle. And then what they'll do is leave my waffle sitting on the side for over 30 or 45 minutes and then just chit chat in an empty restaurant. And they'll be like, was that my waffle? No, that ain't your waffle, on purpose to try to gaslight and try to make me feel like I'm being greedy. And then next thing you know, they'll come on my birthday and give me a cold freaking waffle. And then I'll be like, well, this waffle is cold. And then they get an attitude or whatever. And I'm like, well, this waffle is cold. It's very cold, like room temperature. And then they try to argue me and lie and say that it was directly fresh off the grill. Or they think that I'm being a Karen or unreasonable when I say, and when I say I would like it immediately fresh off the, fresh off the griddle. So they would be abusive and narcissistic and give me opposite of my wishes and think that I don't have a right to ask or make it like as if I'm nuts or crazy for trying to ask for the waffle immediately, like steaming hot where the butter would melt. But like, why would you purposely stand around and leave somebody's food to get cold and then giving people undercooked burgers, like where the blood will, if you bite into the burger, it's all pink and then the blood is gushing out. And then it'd be like burned on the outside and very undercooked and on the inside. And then they try to make it like I don't have a right to ask for a fully cooked burger and try to make it like, oh, well, we always make our burgers rare for everybody. I'm like, well, you're a restaurant who make it like as if people are not allowed to ask for a fully cooked burger? Or they try to make like, well, if you want the burger fully cooked, then we're gonna have to charge you more. And they still wanna give it like burned and rare, you know. But like so they be giving me fucked up food on purpose. And then they will play this kind of game where they would give me horrible customer service and perk the shit out of me at Denny's. And then when I complain about it, then they say, oh, somebody paid for your meal. And I'm like, well, somebody paid for my meal as a way to get me to shut up. And then I get called ungrateful if I made any complaints. But thanks for whoever that was paid for my meal. But at that BJ's Brew House, I went to eat at the restaurant last year. And I got that all on film too. I went to eat at the restaurant and somebody said, well, your meal is taken care of, or somebody paid for your meal. And they did this to me in Mobile, Alabama too. That I was told that somebody paid for my meal. And then the next time I go there, they would kick me out or threaten me with arrest or be trying to set me up to get arrested, trying to be like, well, you walked out without paying, or, you they're like, you did this several times. I'm like, no, somebody told me that my meal was taken, like the bartender would tell me your meal is taken care of, or somebody, paid for your meal for you. And I'm like, well, hallelujah, ain't that a blessing? But and only to come back later on. And then also in Mobile, Alabama, they would do stuff like lie and say that I was begging for money and panhandling in the restaurant, in which I never did such a thing. And I know not to do such a thing, to panhandle and ask for money inside of a restaurant. And so when I was homeless. And so then or they would be like, well, you couldn't afford to pay for your meal and somebody stepped in and paid, so therefore and I'm like, wait a minute. No. I'm like, I have a whole $100 from my Social Security check left over. Now, I'm like, I can pay for this. And so, they refused me service and set me up, lied on me, called the police on me, gaslit me, messed up my video. And it seemed like they were gang stalkers in advance to set it all up at BJ's, right by the mall in Pensacola. So then that day, I had to go to, and then they fucked up my Uber ride where the Uber ride was like $14. They sent a perp Uber driver who he screwed me over really bad and charged me the full price and then refused me service. And then on top of that, they had another lady, a couple of hours later, she had a dirty car, but she didn't act like a perp, but she had a very dirty car that made me feel uncomfortable. And but I had to pay $40. And they were trying very hard to like capture me and set me up to get arrested. And I'm like, and they will always perk the shit out of me at BJ's. But BJ's, they're pretty expensive, but they had good food over there. I used to like their root beer ribs. And I like that ice cream, But a lot of the food was like, I couldn't afford it. But, if I had a little bit of comfort with the money, the most I can probably spend would be like $15 or something. But it's like, and they would have perps that act like as if they were trying to set me up to get wrongfully banned from the mall and everything. Especially if I put them on film and I'd be like, yeah, you perping me with an Aaliyah t-shirt. You a perp. And so then that fake crusty perp sit there and She was a masculine lesbian, and she sat there and tried to pretend to make a big fake scene and over exaggerate and act all crazy and stupid on purpose, trying to set me up to get wrongfully banned from the mall. And your own black people. So so it's like, and then she was young enough, I think she was not too far off from a teenager. As I said, what do these little ass kids know about Aaliyah? Yeah, because they sit there. Like one time, I was working on my big fiction ebook, and I can't even find that chapter where I mentioned Tupac. And as I was working on it, I didn't even publicize it, but as I was working on it, they had a 12-year-old white boy. Well, he looked like he was 12 or 13-year-old white boy. Like shortly after I was mentioned Tupac while writing, and I didn't publicize anything. It was a few minutes later, and somebody walking by with a Tupac t-shirt. But I've never been too crazy about Tupac, But I don't dislike Tupac, but I just never been too crazy about him, But Aaliyah's own family members made it like as if I didn't have a right to be a fan of her. Because they're abusive, narcissistic gang stalkers with elitist mentality. And then they're surprised and hurt when I say something bad about them. If I talked about how dirty they treated me unprovoked for no reason. Rashana. Since they want to say that the celebrities be transgender. The transvestigation videos. Or clones. People talk about Aaliyah being Natalie LaRose. And people say that that Natalie LaRose is actually a man too. Like they said Aaliyah was a man, Sierra's a man. They said Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston are men. They will say something like people like Rob Kardashian is a female to male transgender and all that. Or that he's a satanic breeder. A female to male transgender and satanic breeder, MK Ultra. Or, you hear about Donald Marshall and the Cloning Center. And I heard people who are not famous who say, if they're supposed to be targeting individuals, and they talk about T.I.'s even being killed and cloned also. But I heard that they clone you after you sell out, So I feel like, when people sell their soul to the devil, they start acting narcissistic. And that's why people talk about that narcissists have an empty shell, or they have no soul, or that they're empty, but there's like a demon inhabiting an empty shell, and that might explain why they're so heartless, because they don't as much as they want to falsely brag about themselves being Christian and holy and having the Holy Spirit and everything, but your actions show different. I mean, you better sold your soul to the devil and throwing up satanic hand signs and glorifying New Age while telling everybody to repent. You're sending mixed messages to people who can catch on to what you're doing. So, if they had people who claim that they're Christian, they'd be abusive, narcissistic, and eternally angry. And everything that all their possessions is nice things. Nice clothes, expensive fancy food, nice house, nice car. And they narcissistically brag about how they take such great care of their belongings and everything. You know, like as if they wax and wash their car every day. You know, and that their car is their untouchable baby. And it'd be luxury and fancy. But they think I don't even deserve a crumb of rice with mold on it. Oh, I'm not even worth that. You know. So at first I thought that I wasn't going to have that much to say past 20 minutes, but it's been over an hour and 20 minutes, and I'm still yip-yapping and talking, and it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning, and I got to use the bathroom really bad. So, but today being Monday and the 26th, I'm not going to publish the book today. I got to try to see what else more I have to say in the book, the ebook, the mental health ebook. But I do have a lot of links, a lot of web search links, you know, for y'all to read for yourselves proof of how bad, wicked, and evil, and ungodly and satanic that the mental health system is. But you don't have to, I mean, if you want to complain about it being too many links, well, you know, if you want to remain ignorant, then fine. But you don't have to, you know, just read what you can, read what you want to, or don't read at all. But you ain't going to complain about my shit, especially if you don't have to read it. You force yourself to read and then complain about so many links to click on or so many links. But you're not even interested in having an open mind to research and learn the truth. But you know, you just want to stop my personal truth movement. Because me speaking about the mental health thing, the way y'all try to call me a lunatic and crazy every chance you get, you try to call me crazy as often as you try to call me fat and greedy. So, I haven't even been asking for anything, and an online person lying on me and falsely said that Candy's still lying and scamming, or Candy's a scammer, or she's a liar. And I never a day in my life scammed anybody. I never intentionally or willfully or knowingly committed any fraud, even though abusive narcissistic gang stalkers would try to falsely accuse me of fraud. But the gang stalking, sex trafficking is the freaking scam and fraud. Y'all the scammers, y'all the frauds. Not us targets trying to do the right thing and trying to survive. But, you know, they don't want me to make an honest living. And it's like they trying to take away everything from me on purpose so that they would try to make it like as if I would have no choice. They're hoping that I would have no choice but to be backed into a corner and be forced to have to sell my soul or sell out. And I don't want to do that. I would rather be dead than to sell out. Because I don't, as I said, I don't want a whole bunch of men that I don't like to be plugging themselves inside of me. And I don't get a choice on who to sleep with. I have to be forced to serve as people who I don't find, people who I don't like. But if y'all trafficking gang stalkers falsely accuse me, of being the most undesirable person in the world, but then you stalk at my every move and you stalk and follow everything I do, but then call me the most undesirable person in the world. But you've been stalking me for years, and you're obsessed and jealous, trying to traffic people. That's the fraud and scam right there. So, yeah, so I don't know if I'm going to do an ebook about my journey to the Christian living, since I'm not the best Christian. But, but I'm, I would like to work on some fiction novels and more short stories and more writing, more blogging, So thanks for listening to me. I'll see y'all later. Love y'all.